Okay. So, Judith, you've come all the way from Jamaica here. Was it useful to you?
It certainly was. For me, what it did personally was clarify some of the things that I just didn't understand about the green economy. I didn't know enough. And for me, that was very important because since the work that I do is also part of the sustainable development paradigm. It confirmed for me that the green economy is really one of the ways that you have to engage to get to the sustainable development that we want. So that to me was very important. It also demonstrated to me that there are things, activities that Caribbean people, their NGOs, and governments can do now if they're predisposed to the need to sustainably exploit our natural resources. There are things that they can do at their level to contribute to the greening. I mean, greening is not going to happen in a week. It's clearly a long time process. But there are things that can be done where you are, depending on how you interface with your economy. Which sector are you in? Where do you live? But you have to be predisposed to doing it.
So how do we get that predisposition?
Well, I think you need to be committed and to understand that we don't have a choice really. In a fragile economy such as those in the Caribbean islands, with limited resources, if you don't do something about the way we use those resources, then the next generation or two will have nothing, literally. So I think once we can convince people with data that that is in fact what will happen, then the buy-in will come. But also we have to help them understand that the way you green could also be profitable.
But then again, profitable.
Could be profitable.
Yeah.
Now that's the catch, because people's survival is important. No, in economies where they're strong by debt and global economic crisis and they have fiscal deficits, governments are pressed to provide an environment that people can survive. So it means operating on those tracks.
And can you see any kind of glimpses of a green economy now? Any some good practice that you think we should be scaling up?
Well, the kind of thing that Akima is doing here, Keela is doing here, I think is an excellent example that we could all use from. And there are similar examples of women doing similar projects in Jamaica, in the mountains.
This is using the land wisely.
Using the land wisely. One project I actually had the experience of. There's a thing called Kuna Kuna Pass, where the Maroons, our ancestors, used to travel from St. Thomas into Portland to rural parishes. And it's literally a pass between two mountains. And so what they've done is they've reestablished that path. And as part of the greening, it's part of our protected heritage, or national heritage, Jonquil National Park, which is our protected environment. They started out by naming the correct biological name of certain critical species. And then we have a yellow-tailed butterfly, which is endemic to Jamaica only. And the trees which it used to pollinate were dying. So they had a project to replant that part of the mountains where the butterfly is supposed to flourish.
So how do we get more things like that?
How we get more? Well, people just have to know that that exists.
You have to know.
So that you can participate in the project. You have to pay to go on this hike, which was 4 hours into the mountains. And that was the income generating side of it. That the people that ran the project, when you got there, you got a meal, and there's a beautiful river to swim in, and there were cabins you can rent. That's the income generating side of it that we need to demonstrate to people that it is possible, and including small business people. And I think for me, it reinforced the importance of doing that. But I also want to say that while we're doing that, as civil society or as academia, we really need to encourage, pressure the governments to continue to mobilize at the global level to make sure the countries of the North, who have contributed far more than we have to the overall global damage, that they actually pay. They need to pay what it is they say they're going to pay. Because otherwise, the little we can do, a small percentage of correcting the problem that we can do because our economies are so small, will continue to be overwhelmed by the continuing damage that the northern territories economies are doing, while they're not willing to pay to correct it. So we have to operate on two tracks.
So we have to look at the green economy at the global level as well, which is why, you know, your contribution to the Global Green Economy Coalition is so welcome. So great.
Have to.
Thanks, Judith.
And I wish you good luck, because you need plenty.
Yeah, wish you good luck.
Okay, thank you.